Whoa.
Look away! Okay, that's better. Oh man, that is so scary. It's like beams of fear.
Beams of fear. That's what it's like. Well,
It turned into like a crow call.
Yeah. So, Link,
What body part would you replace, and with what exactly?
let's just take
That and more tackled
let's just take a step back.
in
Just-
this
just
good
1
mythical
second.
more.
Because in my research about this subject, first of all, I will say that I didn't know anything about transhumanism or Zoltan before doing the research for this episode.
You made it all up. I knew a lot about Transformers and humans.
But the thing that I kind of knew about, just because I'm a
Cool.
reasonable science fiction fan, like I am reading a book that's about the year 2040 and
Casual. You're a casual.
yeah. And in the book, the people have developed the ability to put nanotechnology into their brains, and they are actually able to do like coding in their brains.
Uh-huh.
So they're like, and you can put software onto people. Like if there's a person who has a difficult time being confident in the dating scene, well, you can like activate a program where you are confident while dating. It's that kind of thing. So you basically enhance your own human behavior using software. Now, but so I'm just saying that as a setup for like, I kind of knew that there's people that want to see this kind of stuff happening. But it's obviously, we didn't really talk about this in the episode, but it's obviously controversial because most people think, okay, you're getting into some weird areas when you're starting to try to change people and that kind of thing. We just kind of had fun with it.
And can I throw in one thing? I think this is my assessment of it, and you factor this in whatever way you want to present this. But you know, you mentioned sci-fi novels and stuff like that. The way that I feel about this is I'm not going to get excited about it or believe it's actually going to happen. I don't doubt that it can happen, but I question whether it actually will. I mean, hoverboards much? Eh?
They kind of started almost happening, but they're kind of lame. You have to be like on a track.
Because it's just a question of, there's so many factors that are, it's not just, is it possible or not? Is it every other box you got to check for these things to happen?
Well, let's just, for the sake of conversation.
Practicality, you got price, you got use, you got people being on board for this thing.
Let's just assume
So is this all
it's going
theoretical?
to happen.
I mean,
there's things that are happening right now that if you were to tell the like 1930 version of Rhett and Link these things, we would be like, what? That's impossible.
so that's why Zoltan is running for president, so that he can just, he's not that he can win, so he can bring
He probably knows that he's
his thoughts to
so
light.
we can have a conversation about it.
Have a conversation.
We're talking about it on Good Mythical Morning. You know, a conversation is happening about it. But the interesting thing is that I think most people have a healthy fear and discomfort about things like this. But the thing that you really start realizing is that, I mean, the Aunt Vicky's knee replacement is a very mild example, but it is kind of a thing that, like, if you had asked somebody 100 years ago, will you take like a robotic, will you take some foreign object and put it into your knee to replace the bone that's in there? It'd be like, I don't know about that now. I don't know about that now. But of course now people get hip replacements. And if you could have like a
there was an
ear
option,
replacement or an eye replacement, or
Why not a
part
hip?
of your brain could be
Part of your
replaced.
brain.
You know, like
Why
you
not
start
all
getting
your-
closer and closer to who you are as a person being affected.
Now, if
people get more and more uncomfortable.
if Aunt Vicky's knee like had a mouth on it,
It could.
like, now Vicky, we can give you this knee. It can be just a normal knee, or we can give you this one that has a mouth on it.
Right.
Like then, you know, that's the slippery slope that I think we're on.
Really?
Just think about that. And I don't mean on the backside of the knee where like, you could easily put a
You
mouth
mean the
under
knee-
there.
the
and
kneecap.
You could eat with it. I'm talking about on the front side. So like, just when she's like sitting up here crossing her legs, like, it's like, you know,
Does food go in it?
food goes in it, yeah.
Then where does the food come out? the bottom of the foot, you got to create another rectum.
I think that's inefficient. I mean, no one wants a rectum transplant. I think it would work with the existing rectum.
It routes through the
back
thigh.
up. I mean, it's
through
close
to the rectum.
Right.
But that's a major surgery at that point. We got to route it to the rectum.
Right. but all I'm saying is that it's probably worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think it is.
It's scary, but so what's the answer to my question?
Well,
what body part?
Okay,
we're still not do that.
But and then so if I could take a pill, I don't really understand how the pill works, but I know that the pill's got some nanotechnology in it that will go inside my bloodstream and get to my brain, and it will.
That exists?
No, and I'm saying that's what that's one of the things that's in this, and that would increase my intelligence by 10 IQ points, and let's just say.
Welcome to my world.
There's no negative side effects to this. It's been tested on volunteers, and they're all just really smart. Would you take it?
But they act a little brainwashed when something is activated 10 years later.
Well, of course that's the fear. The fear is that people with ill intent are going to take advantage of all this, and it's going to be a dystopian future, and everybody's going to be subject to an overlord. Of course that could happen. His name will be Zoltan. And I will be his right-hand man.
No offense, Zoltan.
But let's just I'm not talking about the bad that can happen. Anything can be abused. I'm just talking about, would you take the pill that makes you 10 IQ points smarter? Or would you be like, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't messing with that. And would you take a fake knee? What if you could have ankles that made you jump higher?
I would take a physical augmentation of my body in general before I would take a mental augmentation.
Oh, of course. That's I think most people would take it first, but would you take the mental one?
Eventually? I'd have to have a lot of close friends who've been under many years.
Really?
So I'll let you do it.
Okay.
I mean, I would let you do it for like...
I'm going to be super smart for a few years,
year.
man. You'd be like, man, he's got all the ideas. Maybe I should take that pill.
Right. I'll even invest in it for that reason.
Really?
Like, I'll give you money to defray the cost of you being smarter if it can benefit us and me, but also minimize my personal risk. This is like a win-win. Now, if a golf cart for a lower torso?
Yeah,
that's a done deal.
Six-person golf cart. I can carry 5 because I'm in one of the seats.
Are you in the driver's seat or?
Yes.
Because I was like, you don't want to relinquish that.
I'm in the driver's seat. But I can also be detached and put back onto like a horse's body. Or a human's body.
I don't mean to keep defraying the conversation, but I don't have an answer for you about the pill.
I'm super smart. Did I mention that? I'm a super smart golf cart. I get Netflix and all kinds of things and play it on a little screen.
This is called Knight Rider. You know, this was a show in the 80s.
I am Kit. I am Kit.
What? So, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
What body part would you replace, and with what? I mean, you're talking like noodle legs and swords for arms. That's a little impractical. I mean, you can cut a bunch of stuff, but you can't locomote to it unless you're like in water. How you gonna walk around with pool noodle legs? You gonna convince me with that?
It's just an example. I think I would want to, if I could have some kind of enhancement, it would be eyes. Like it would be a display inside of my.
That's so close to what you can just purchase.
No.
I wanted to lop off my arm at the elbow and replace it with like a
sword,
like a Darth Vader type Inspector Gadget, interchangeable Terminator thing.
Well, I have always talked about having a hand that dispenses sauces. Five.
I've always talked about that.
5 different sauces.
The fact is, it's true. And the other hand, just nuggets pop out of the palm, right?
Yeah, right. One hand is a nugget dispenser, and then you've got sweet and sour, barbecue, buffalo, honey mustard, and ranch.
And then like a year later, here's what happened. A year later, like you like pass somebody on the street, and you look down at their hand, and they got like an extra finger with another sauce coming out of it. Like, man, they got the upgrade.
Yeah.
They got the 6-finger upgrade.
Yeah.
Then you have to go in for that.
Yeah,
Then there'll be like 20 years down the road, there'll be like a 20-fingered hand, and it'll just, and, you know, the aliens will come and they'll be like, what is happening?
He's got the blue cheese pinky.
What happened?
He got the blue cheese
What
upgrade.
happened to these people?
Should have thought of that.
I mean, do you guys have any answers? One body part replaced with something else.
I just think it's gonna end up being the Terminator.
The Terminator.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah. We're creating. This is the past of the Terminators.
Yeah.
Right, and they just keep coming out. You know, it's like, well, I saw 2.
It just has to be measured.
And what is this, 4?
You know, it has to be measured and calculated and controlled in some way so it doesn't get out of hand.
Just give a long, evil look to camera in order to, like, put an exclamation point on this thing.
Controlled.
It just has to be controlled.
Listen, it's easy to talk about it when it's theoretical. Maybe if I really was right here and they were like, you could have this stuff right now, I'd be like, oh, I'm not going under for that. I don't know. I mean, one of the things this guy, I saw him in an interview, he's talking about is we basically already have artificial hearts, but they're getting better and better. And he was like, if surgery is continuing to get better and the implants are continuing to get better, so there could be a point in your life in which you just go in and get the artificial heart and you don't have heart disease. Heart disease is a thing of the past.
Without having any heart problems, you just go in as like a...
A preemptive heart transplant.
You would go in and be like, everybody's heart is going to fail at some point, right? So at age 60 or whatever, or even younger if you have a history of heart disease, you go in and you get the surgery and it's a lot less invasive.
It's like I got the transmission replaced in my van before it went out.
Yeah.
At 100,000 miles, because you know it's gonna go out, and you know, I know a guy, shifted.
Right.
Right. If everyone had a shifted connect, it'd be new hearts.
And would you let Gorgon put a new heart inside you?
Oh yeah.
It's going to be fine, Link. Just go to sleep.
Count backwards from.
I mean, but that's the thing is that that's gonna happen next. Like, oh yeah, he's one of the guys with the artificial hearts, and no, he's one of the guys that's got the artificial heart, and he's got the artificial hands, and he's one of the guys that has the special eyes. And then the next thing you know, it's gonna happen slowly, and then, you know, and the transhumanism thing is like, well, let's just push it, let's just make it happen. We all know it's gonna be a good thing, right? Let's just push it, make it happen. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing, but I like to act like it is.
And as it turns out, I believe that Zoltan is a common name in Hungary.
It is.
Citation needed.